Well, I had traffic court today. Had to go in for a speeding ticket. Now this was my trial date. I'd already gone in to talk about the citation. At which time I pled not guilty, and today was the trial date. So I was all prepared to defend myself and had a good case prepared. And just before I sit down, the judge gives me a little talk about how it's difficult to defeat a speeding ticket. Well, I found out how difficult. Basically, even though the state statute says that you have to have the prosecution must present clear and convincing evidence, all that's required is the officer's testimony. And there's little that you can do about it. I mean, that's it. So I asked about the calibration of the radar unit that he was supposedly using, and I wanted to see the radar log, and the judge says, you have to get that. And I replied, well, I have to make the case for the prosecution? And he said, well, you have to, the prosecution isn't responsible for gathering up all this data. The courts have ruled that, in the past. He said, I told you, it's very difficult to win it. I said, so all that's required is the officer's testimony. If that's the case, this is a waste of time. And he said, well, you've been looking at it any way you want. And I said, well, if I cannot contest the officer's testimony, and the officer's testimony is basically a citation anyway, what is the purpose of this court? Other than to record the fact that everybody's guilty. He had no answer for that. Then he said, in my 14 and a half years, I've never seen a speeding ticket where the defendant was not guilty. Well, and then he told me that it wasn't a kangaroo court. And I said, well, what is it? Anyway, if you get a speeding ticket in the United States, do not expect to win, regardless of whether you are innocent or not. Basically, the courts have ruled that any time radar is involved, that it's automatically accurate, regardless of the officer's training, etc., etc., etc. Or the method of calibration. Which means that I could see a number of places where abuse could come into effect here. Officer could put a brick on his dash, call it a radar, say it was calibrated properly, testify to that in court, and you'd be guilty whether or not there was a radar unit there at all. So that's my rant for the day. Bruce Bradshaw signing off.